I know it's been a while since I've done a recording. Hope everyone is doing fine. It is the 11th of January as I'm recording this. I know I'm late doing this. I have been sick. I've been sick since the beginning of this month, and I have been pretty busy working on a lot of things, a lot of projects and things like that. Um, but I have been sitting on this for a while. But in December, I lost someone close to me that passed away. He died. So after he passed away, right before Christmas, that happened. But also right before Thanksgiving, I also lost somebody too. Um, a lot of people actually died in 2024. A lot of people, and it got to the point where I was getting my feeds were getting hit every time somebody died, and just how big the list was from the second half of how many people died was crazy. Um, a lot from just James Earl Jones from the Candyman, the voice of Darth Vader and the voice of Lion King, James Earl Jones, and just a lot of people. I'm not gonna go down the whole list, but it was a lot. But then I had some people personal in my life pass away also, um, and that hit me pretty hard. So I say all of this to say that I've been distracted and I've had a lot going on. So this is the only chance I have right now in the last couple of months that I'm actually able to record. So yeah, forgive me for being so late on this and for having such a long intro. I am sick, so pardon my voice if it sounds strange. Um, every time I tried to write something down for the year 2025, I couldn't get anything. Something was blocking me every single time I was trying to write it down. So I feel intuitively that what I say about this year 2025 needs to come off the top of my head. It just needs to come out. I feel like there's three main things that need to come out, three main topics. So just give me a minute to find the first topic to see what's really going on this year. What's coming? The first thing that comes to mind, 2025 is going to be or feel a lot like 2020. That's just what I feel. I feel like there's a lot of those energies going on. I feel like there's going to be a lot of harsh energies. But the year 2024 strongly prepared us for what we have to go through here in this year, in 2025. Um, 2025 is going to throw a lot at us. And the truth is, we can't really afford to act the way we have been acting the last couple decades for a while. Um, I recently actually found a new show that I started watching, and this show was very relevant to what was going on in today's 2020 era. So I looked up this show. This show came out over 21 years ago. This show came out in 2003. So when I was looking at this show, I was like, what the heck? Like this the what's being talked about in the show right now, like this is stuff that we're going through in today's time. And here I am being an idiot, and thinking that what we're going through in today's era, what this new generation is going through, I'm thinking that it's old, that it's new stuff. No, apparently, us as a society, we've been going through this stuff for the past couple of decades. And this show coming out in 2003, offering so many solutions over these problems, these social problems, the how we treat each other. Just a lot, racism, a lot of stuff. The thing about 2003 talking about these things, 2003 you can get away with a lot more on TV than you can now. So half the topics that were talked about in such detail and how they explored the bad and the good side of each topic. If we tried to do that in today's time, it would not work out simply because it wasn't one sided. But that show was very two sided and explained both sides. And it explained how we can all work together to help find each other and help make the world a better place, or how to make ourselves better to where we can treat other people better and how we can perceive being treated better, which is really what we need to do. I know a lot of people, they try to force justice or whatever, and it just does not work that way. It doesn't work. And the truth is, doesn't this year offers so much harsh energies that we need to stop trying to figure out what justice is and stop trying to force it, because it's not going to work. It's not. And the thing is, a lot of people are not going to care. They're going to look and say, "Oh, this is wrong in the world. This is not right in the world." And it's like, at this point, it's time to actually start doing something and to just stop getting mad over everything all the time. And people always want some kind of excuse. Oh, do something that's promoting whatever, this or that. And, people are going to try and twist things the way that they want to. And that's why people get so scared to try and help, because when you try to help out or try to say, hey, this isn't the right way to do things, there's a better way to do it, people will say, oh, when you say better, you mean in more out of control, more untamed, more destructive side. Yes, I know what you mean. Like, no, no, it's not. It's not it. It's so scary trying to help people, because people who want to do bad things will figure out a way to do it, and then they'll figure out a way to justify it. A lot of people will talk about how bad narcissistic people are, yet at the same time, they will be narcissistic themselves. A lot of times, people will go out and they will seek help. They will seek what is the best way to do something, only because deep down inside, they want to figure out what's the right way to do something, so that way they would know the tactic of a righteous person or a right person, and then they can use those tactics against them. Or they will say, hey, what's the worst thing somebody can do to someone else? And when they look at those things, how to treat someone bad, or how to treat someone good, how to better yourself, and things like that. People will look into that. They'll apply that to their own personal survival tactic, and then they will learn how to manipulate other people by understanding, oh, okay, so when someone's trying to better their life, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to do this. So now that I know how they're doing it, then that means I just have to see these symptoms, and then I have to just know how to cut it off and make sure that they don't see what I'm doing. You're going to find snakes like that in this year. And giving out information like that is very scary, because when someone's mind is opened up to something, depending on their heart of nature, they can take a revelation as a sign of, oh, I'm opened up to something more divine and beautiful. Or they can take revelation to, oh, my eyes are more opened up to something more destructive and sinister. The thing is, you cannot always change. You can't always direct people with what how they'll evolve. Which which is weird that I say that, because that brings me to the next point. which was evolution. A lot of people say, hey, things are changing. We gotta calm it down. We gotta slow it down. And a lot of people are like, nah, we gotta get with the times. We gotta, the life evolves. And if you don't evolve with life, then you fall behind. And a lot of people are more on the idea of being for evolution and for all the changes going on in the world and for embracing the future and how it evolves. The issue is not about embracing the future or embracing evolution or anything like that. The issue is what parts of humanity are evolving. And the problem is there are the worst parts. There are a lot of parts of the human condition that have been basically programmed inside of us, seeded inside of the human condition. And after being seeded inside of the human condition, they have been watered through a lot of modern day, you know, things that we engage in every day in modernism. Is basically just training our neurological minds, and it's causing our brain to be on autopilot and feed the parts of human nature or our human feed the parts of the human condition that have been falsely seeded and injected into us, forced into us in our everyday lives and into the youth. Now that those seeds have been put inside of us, now these seeds have been watered with a lot of social media, a lot of other forms of media, a lot of technology, a lot of weird news, collective, triggers, things like that. If you understand the basics of psychology and how the human mind works on psychology and how the human mind evolves, you would see how a lot of the stuff in the world that has been put in the world the last few decades, the last few years, has actually been not good for developing the human mind. And I remember I did watch a video. It was a radio station, and the radio station called this man, this guy, and this guy said, "Oh, who is this?" And then they're like, "Hey, we're a radio show, and whenever people do dates or something, um, they'll call us whenever they'll call our radio station, and the date will say, 'Hey, we've been ghosted by this person, so here's their number, and can you call them and find out why I've been ghosted?'" So this girl calls the radio station and tells them that this guy ghosted her. So the radio station calls her, calls the dude. Um, so as the conversation is going, it wasn't the thing that bothered me was when he gave his answer. Everyone's entitled to be whoever they want to, do whatever they want to, but it was just very uncomfortable hearing the dude's responses and how he responded, which was more on the lines of she was trying to really impress this dude. She was, she didn't know what to do, but she was on the date, trying to figure it out. And the guy said that he didn't call her back because she was doing too much. She wanted to do too many activities. And, he was like, we did this activity and that activity. And she was just too much. And I didn't want to call her back because then I had to set up another activity just to talk to her and tell her I don't want to do anymore. And then she said she wanted to go on a walk. And I'm like, we have Uber and we have cars. Why do we need to walk? And she was like, Joe, she thought it'd just be romantic to just take a walk together. The guy was like, no, like, I'm good with just eating some Cheez Its, I think he said, and eating me a bowl of Cheez Its and sitting down binge watching my favorite show. That's two activities that I could do in peace and then go to sleep. So the conversation kind of, went on, and the fact that some things were listed and s- some social activities were listed, and the dude was more like, again, like I said, everyone's entitled to whatever. So if I'm trying to explain this in such a way that people don't listen to this, and they're like, oh, he's just who he is, leave him alone, blah blah blah. Like, I'm trying to say this properly. It was more on the fact that the dude was so disconnected from life, from the intimacy of life and what life had to offer, that he didn't even care to want to connect to it. The thing is, we have been so disconnected with the nature of life that once we don't have that inside of us anymore, we don't crave to feed that part of ourselves anymore, simply because it's not there. The things that made being human so amazing, so natural, so beautiful, so amazing, it's being taken away from us. And the fact that it's being taken away means that we don't have it in our heart anymore. And if it's not in our heart, then we're not going to feel a craving to want to satisfy that piece, that part of ourselves anymore. That makes life feel so amazing. That makes life feel so, so happy and good and everything. Now, feeling that in the moment, in the situation, is what was bothering me. That felt very uncomfortable. It wasn't even the words that were said. It was the energy, the exchange of energy. And this video was just a huge reminder of what we lost as people. This year, 2025, is going to really bring stuff like that back to the surface. Back to, hey, it's like time to be like a human again, to just be a human. Something that we've lost. But even with that, even with us being said, I could feel strongly that this year is also going to ask us to stop joking around with a lot of things. We allow ourselves to be distracted over so many things, over so much stuff, and it's time to stop being distracted. We don't really have much time left. Um, there are so many things that are being attacked in us, and and it's mainly just a distraction. I know a lot of people say time is an illusion, but time is the biggest weapon that's been used against us, to slow us down, keep us consumed by time, and, stop us from progressing. Progression is important because accessing your goals, your gifts, your dreams in life is what's needed to better fight this war and to better help the world heal from many of its broken pieces, and to help people heal from their broken pieces. Um, every piece matters. Every fight in every area matters. We've all been born, and we've felt a very strongness inside of us, a strong sense of guidance inside of us. And as time went on, it felt like we've drifted into so many weird decisions, and we've gotten lost in so much pain, so many bad choices, and so many bad, decisions, and and traumas that just threw us off and made us feel like we were so disconnected from whatever that feeling was that was inside of us when we were little children. It's like when we were children, we had a compass on what our life was supposed to evolve into. But as we got older, we started drinking and smoking and doing this and that. We felt more and more disconnected from what that guidance actually was. This year, 2025, is going to ask us to reconnect with that guidance and to stop actually playing around and saying, oh, I have so much pain inside of me. I have so much PTSD inside of me. I'm not worthy of this. I'm not worthy of that. I'm not worthy of happiness. I'm not worthy to be the best version of me anymore. It's if if you can choose to get out of that, then do it. This year is going to demand that we choose to not be lost in that cycle, in those cycles anymore. We don't need to be there. We don't need to keep distracting ourselves until we die. This year demands us that we don't do that anymore. This year needs us to be better for ourselves, for what we leave behind after we die, and for the people that are around us that we influence every single day. No matter what people want to believe, no matter what people want to say, you influence this world and you influence everybody that comes in contact with you and with your energy. Some people will take responsibility and they will say, hey, I understand that if I'm having a bad day and I go out and I see somebody and there's someone around me, I may give them a dirty look. I've just influenced their day. I've influenced their moments. Some people are going to say, hey, I understand my responsibility that I am in a position where I have to control how this position that I am in affects others that are touched by it or that are near it. And they're going to better themselves. Some people are going to say, oh, you mean to tell me that I can do, if I'm feeling a certain way, I can make the world feel that way? And they're going to choose the wrong path, and they're going to say, I want everyone else in the world to feel the way that I do, and I want them to feel how much anger I feel. And they're going to try to find some empowerment in that and make other people just as miserable as them. Um, the truth is there's a law of building and destroying. Are you a creator or are you a destroyer? A lot of people will say, oh, there's some people who are here to destroy, and there are some people who are here to create, people that are healers. Um, once you find once you find the more intimate, more true nature of what your power is, you understand that there is duality involved. You will understand that sometimes being a destroyer means to destroy what does not work anymore. It means to destroy the bad things that are hurting people. And also that means you are allowing a pathway for people who label themselves creators to better heal people in the world. We do it all the time to each other, help heal and help destroy each other. The thing is, some people are just aware of when they're doing it, and they're aware of when they need to do it. They're aware of when tough love is needed to break down tough exteriors. They're aware of when they need to be nurturing to create a sense of safety in an individual so they can grow in themselves or grow the better parts of themselves. Anyway, I'm just reading the energies of 2025 right now. Um, if you are getting sick, that's a good sign. That means you are facing a very powerful darkness inside of yourself right now. And getting sick really puts you in that state of just blah, of just, you know, you're in a more lower version of yourself. But when you are in that more miserable, dark, sick, ill version of yourself, when your body is physically sick like that, that is an opportunity to find the sick parts of you, to better resonate with the sick parts of you. And once you're down there, you are able to talk with those parts of yourself that are ill, that are stuck in the void. Talk to those parts, or listen to those parts, see what's going on, and help them move on so that you can move on. Yeah, to remember that spirituality isn't always a big light. It isn't always a big fire, a big, beautiful burst. When you are a worker, especially a light worker, you have to understand how to integrate the meaning of light within darkness. That that can look like so many things, but you have to understand that a lot of times you feel a burst of light and feel a burst of joy and a burst of happiness when you are connecting to higher spiritualities. That really shows you the highest of what these things are capable of allowing your soul to feel. And then there are times when you come down and you're back in the real world, and it's like, I'm back in the real world. Sometimes you just don't feel motivated to do all the spiritual stuff, or sometimes you just don't understand. You just can't get that same excitement or anything like that you did before. That's normal that you feel that. You're supposed to feel that simply because you have that frequency inside of you at such a transparent level. You know what that feels like when it's light. You know what that joy feels like when your spirituality is connected with your light. Now that it's more transparent and in the form of wisdom and in the form of a seed, now you learn to integrate the knowledge and the wisdom of that light into the darkness. And then you allow divinity to grow into that darkness and influence it and change it. Now, when you evolve spirituality into darkness, you create peace. A lot of people think that once they find spirituality, they're going to be happy all the time. And there's going to be this burst of light, and they're going to be jumping around and having all this energy. No, that is the light side of spirituality. Transparent side is more of wisdom. Now, when you put that in darkness, you create peace. And it is important to realize that when you take wisdom, a spirituality, and when you put it in darkness and in peace, what actually happens is life starts to feel better and become better effortlessly on its own because it becomes natural. The seed and the root to every tree is always planted in the darkness below the ground. Keep that in mind. I feel like there's one last thing I need to say right now, and then I can tap out of this energy of 2025. And unfortunately, I cannot remember. It just came to mind, just faded away. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so these were the energies of 2025. This was supposed to be a prediction of the year, but the honest truth is that this year is just about becoming. It's about becoming something. It's about understanding that you have the choice and using the ability of choice to physically make things happen, to actually make things physically happen for you, for your goals, just for life. Um, even if you don't feel like it. Thank you for listening to this. And remember to do the best you can with what you got. Energies for 2025. Do your best. And just don't be afraid to, shake things up in your life. And go for it. Go for your dreams and help make the world a better place. The world needs you to make it a better place. If you don't do it, who else is going to do it? Um, it doesn't matter if you do come back reincarnated. You're not going to come back as this particular person you are now in this moment. And with the energies you have inside of you right now, it's important to exploit them and use them as much as you possibly can. And just remember that you're the source of these energies, so no one can take that away from you. You can always rejuvenate it whenever you want to. And you're the master of these energies. So, don't share these energies with people who are going to downplay it or make it feel worthless. You are going to run into those people who are going to make you feel that way, where you're going to feel in your heart that what you're doing is divine and it's beautiful and it's right and everything feels perfect. And when you open up, there are going to be some people who are going to listen to what you have to say and they're going to try and pick apart everything that you just said and everything that you feel and make you doubt yourself and make you feel like you're dumb or you're an idiot or that what you just said or what you feel doesn't matter. It's going to ruin your self esteem. It's going to ruin your connection to your higher energies. It's going to ruin your connection to your power. And just know that these people who do this to you are not always going to seem malicious. They might even talk friendly to you and just nicely tell you how dumb you are or how stupid they think you are. Something like that. Um, just be careful about opening up to people in that way, and just know when to keep your guard up instinctively because these people will attack you. Have a nice day and do the best you can with what you got.